But I talk about peace a lot because so many people don't have it. We wonder why people are walking around here miserable. They don't love themselves and they don't have peace within themselves. And they're avoiding the things they need to do, and that's why they don't have it. If you know you need to make amends with somebody, if you know you did somebody wrong, you're not going to have peace. There are people that can't sleep because they do people wrong on a daily. They can't even sleep. So I'm just saying it's because of the way you're living your life. You're never going to have peace treating people wrong or avoiding your responsibilities. Like there's a few men I know that I didn't say they're friends. I said I know them and they don't take care of their children. Now, I'm not here to judge anybody, but you're not going to have peace if you don't take care of your kids. That is your responsibility. So when people are not taking care of their responsibilities, there's no way to be happy. That's not what I was going to say originally, but you asked me about that part first. But I was going to say originally that what did it say at the end? He was talking about people they mistreat you and then you're avoiding them, right? So when they mistreat you, you avoid them and you're talking about you protecting your peace. Yeah, that's the part I was going to talk about. I was going to say this happens so much with women. And that's why I think it's hard for women to be friends with women because it's like it's hard for women to hold each other accountable and to hold themselves accountable. I've been in friend groups where a woman will do something crazy wrong and all the women is like, girl, no, you was right. And I'm just sitting there like, huh? So y'all just gonna just pretend that this woman did the right thing, and I'll be the only one that'll stand. How they say it now? Stand on business. I'll be the only one in the group that stands on business. I'm like, you was wrong. You was dead wrong, and I'm gonna tell you why, how, when, who. I'm gonna tell you the truth because I love you, and I think telling somebody the truth is loving them. So I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't sugarcoat it. I'm like, yo, this was wrong, and this is why. And there have been women that have been mad at me, cut me off because I'm not gonna live in a lie with them. You can't live in a lie and be around me. That's not how I. That's not what my circle is. So if more women were like this, it would be better for everyone. But you even have, even what Hank said about the older women holding the younger women accountable, to be honest, it should be like that in reality, but it's just not like that. The older women are still living in their lie. How they gonna hold the younger women accountable when they still lying? You gotta be joking me. These women out here in their 40s and 50s, they can't hold nobody accountable because they still trying to hold themselves accountable. They're still children in their brain. And I know, so I don't need nobody. Don't send me no emails, no DMs, no nothing. Don't
God,
send me nothing. Don't send me nothing because I tell the truth. So even when I okay, this is it's sad, but it's true. So even when I speak to older women, they want you sometimes to live in a delusion with them and to support the lie too. I don't care how old you are. You could be my senior. I'm not going along with it. I'm gonna tell you was wrong. I'm gonna hold you accountable, and they don't like that. So it's easy. It's actually easier for young women to lie because the older women are lying with them. And it's unfortunate, but that is the reality. And we have to accept the reality for what it is. And most people are just not truth tellers. Most people aren't living in their truth. That's why most people are miserable. Women have the highest count of taking these antidepressants now. Why? They depressed because they lying. If you live your life lying every single day, all day, you're gonna be depressed. There's no way you could have joy and happiness and satisfaction in life when you're lying to yourself, when you're not accountable and responsible for anything. Do y'all read the Bible? I'm just saying, because we was talking about faith today. That's what the message was. And I think if people actually read the scripture and lived by the scripture, they would be happier people. It's talking about having faith. It's talking about having discipline. It's talking about being responsible. People don't want to live this way and they wonder why they're miserable. I, I could go on and on, but I'm not trying to take up the whole show, JR. So I'm just going to say women and men alike, but I was talking about women. If you want to be happier, you have to be accountable to yourself and keep your word to yourself. The reason people have low self-esteem is because they don't have faith or belief in themselves. The only way you're going to have faith and belief in yourself is if you actually do what you say. You don't even believe yourself because you don't even do what you say you're going to do. There's no way you could be happy if you don't even believe in yourself. But I don't want to keep going, so I'm going to leave it right there.
No, I agree. I think I wanted to say, if you are not, you need to know that there's something actually wrong with you in order to like be accountable, right? A lot of people are not holding humility. Like, you're not humble. You think you're this great person. Everybody's just every problem you get into is everybody else's fault, but not yours. And it's all, a lot of people think that way, right? So there's nothing that we can, like for me, I had to, people, I mean, I lost friends because I was like a little confrontational for them. Like I would be like, hey, I don't like this. I'm like, I set boundaries. People will like, people run away from these things. People are scared when there's people with boundaries, people who hold you accountable, people who are confident. People will literally say, girl, like get off your ass and go get a job. Like they'll cut you off because they think it's hate or whatever it may be. And in regards to older women, I had an older woman who was envious of me because I'm younger. Like it's a competition now, even with older women. It's not a village anymore. We're not working as a village. It's more like it's just, I don't know, it's too much for me. Like I try to be like, a lot of my friends are older, but I guess a 45, like for example, a 45-year-old woman, we have to tell her how to conduct herself, and she's the whole 15 years older than us, and we're telling her like, hey, like you're not like you, in a conversation, there's no like, she just like wouldn't even let me get in to a point, right? So I'm like, it's not really about the age, older, younger, like just somebody who's wise. And if you can tell this person have good advice, because I can tell who somebody's giving me a good advice or not. Like, hey, that's a bad advice, I'm not gonna take it. But you can't always get guidance from just anybody. It has to be like trusted, wise, collected people.
Yeah. All right, Jay, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think like a whole bunch of the internet slogans, protect your peace. I think a lot of that stuff is ran rampant, but the understanding of it is lost. The understanding of it is really lost because, and I used to be guilty of, protecting my peace, and my example of that would be not having a conversation, not communicating, literally just ending the text thread and not had just cutting people off once they did something that I deemed was wrong, or and
You're ghosting people, Jay. You're ghosting people out here.
absolutely,
Oh
absolutely,
man.
like what Balance was saying, like, yo, you just died, like, God, you just died, you just passed away in my life, you don't exist no more. And that's wrong, because going forward they're not going to hear or have an understanding of what they did that you feel, wrong, that you feel wronged about, and you're not going to get that closure of articulating. And maybe that was one of my issues too. I wasn't the best at articulating when I just had like a ball in my chest, and I wanted to say all these things. I didn't want to necessarily hurt someone's feelings or tear them down, but you have to find a way to articulate what you're feeling, and once you articulate what you feel and you said everything you needed to say, then that's where the peace starts. But the peace doesn't start by leaving something that needs to be said or communicated unfinished.